I want to talk about something that is so common. And this week, I'm hoping your week is going well. And I know a lot of people have questions about where did this begin? Like, why? A lot of people have questions about why am I this way? Why is this something that other people don't struggle with? And so that's what we're going to talk about today. So we're going to be talking about the why behind people pleasing. And so I get asked so often is, how did I become a people pleaser? Why does it seem that something that is so simple to someone else, like saying no or being confident, comes so easily and naturally to some people? But for me, it just feels like I have this extreme anxiety just at the thought of telling someone no or disappointing them. So at times, it may feel like you weren't taught to have, or you don't have the foundations of self-esteem that other people have. So things like saying no, asserting yourself, standing up for yourself cause you to go into a worry spiral when people are upset with you or even when you receive criticism. So the simple act of receiving criticism may send you down this spiral of self-doubt and worry that some people just don't experience. And so that's why I'm choosing to start at the beginning. It's helpful to understand how before we can understand how we make change, or why before we can figure out how to make change, so that we can figure out, okay, what is causing you to get stuck over and over again? And so before we talk about confidence and being more self-assured, asking for what you want and setting boundaries, it's helpful to talk about why these have become issues and barriers in the first place, which is, again, why I like to start at this place. And let's start with some messages that you may have received as a child and throughout life at some point that has led you to have this habit of people pleasing as an adult. You may have been led to believe this directly or indirectly. And so, number one, I have to take care of others and be responsible for other people. And this is care for others, not just physically, but emotionally as well. So having to take on responsibility very early as a child, whether due to a parent's inability, illness, addiction, or just because. Taking on the parental role very early in life and having to manage other people's emotions and being responsible for their emotional responses. So you may have been led to believe that my emotions cannot be separate from theirs. And so this leads you to having a lack of separation between you and others. And so you can only feel as good as someone else feels and their emotional reactions to you. Almost may feel like you and I are one, and there's a lack of boundaries between what I want and what you want, how you feel, and how I feel, because I am responsible for you, and I want to make sure that you are taken care of physically and emotionally. You may have been led to believe that what others think of me is more important than what I think of myself. And so this may have looked like always having to look perfect on the outside, having been frequently told to keep it together, keep what's going on in the house private, hold those emotions in. There may have been a huge emphasis on looking the part, keeping it together, and putting on a brave face to alter or shift the perceptions of you to others. So this may have led to you seeking the approval and validations of others and a lot of value on their perceptions of you, which leads you to have less of an emphasis on how you feel about yourself. Another thing you may have been taught is I'm not good enough, or my worth has to be earned. So my worth has to be earned and quantified in some way. And so typical ways that people measure their worth may be from the praise you receive from others, how well you achieve, your accomplishments. You may begin to believe I am what I achieve. I am as valuable as others say I am and give me acknowledgement for. And so by constantly receiving praise for accomplishments, being good, how nice you are, you learn that you'll receive all the good feels, that things that seem easy and tangible, like these feel like ways to build self-esteem. However, it leads to this almost addictive behavior of doing these things to receive praise and admiration in order to build your self-esteem, instead of your self-esteem coming from yourself. Another thing you may have learned throughout the years is I can't do hard things or manage uncomfortable emotions. So you maybe weren't given the opportunity to do things that allowed you to grow your self-esteem, such as take up for yourself, sit in the uncomfortable feelings of setting a boundary, choosing yourself or letting someone down. You maybe were actually encouraged to take the path of least resistance, compromise or go with the flow, avoid people being angry, the uncomfortable. Are you experiencing those feelings yourself? And so after doing this so long, you begin to lose confidence in yourself to manage these situations, because these are all of some of the behaviors that build confidence, and you're trapped in a cycle that only doesn't allow your confidence to grow, but it just further reinforces that belief that I'm not able to manage this, which then lowers your confidence even more. Now, another big belief that comes up quite often is other people will abandon me. It's not safe for me to take up space. It's not safe for me to show emotions or to be me. Strong emotions or having a different opinion maybe were considered as a sense of defiance, whether you were punished or indirectly told to get in line. And so this may have played out or looked like not having a voice as a child to accommodate someone else. So when showing emotions, you may have been told to suck it up or were led to feel that they were an inconvenience to someone else, leading you to feeling like you constantly had to accommodate someone or belong to be accepted. So you learn to follow the rules and be what other people said you should be in order to receive love and acceptance. And so those are just a few messages that are very, very, very common with the clients that I work with who struggle with people pleasing and self-esteem, emotions. So I'm curious, what messages did you receive that you feel impacted your self-esteem? And if you know someone who is a people pleaser, forward this to them.